And there you have it, Tacky by Weird Al Yankovic. Very last album. I mean, it's probably his last album. I think he's just going to put out just singles from here on out, because he had a really good point. It's like if YouTube had existed back in the 80s, right, and Michael Jackson released a song called Bad, there'd be like 3,000 parodies of it, you know? Like, you didn't have to know the executive president of MTV to get your song on. Like, YouTube, you just put everything up there. So I think the timing of when he started and what he was offering was just the perfect niche. And nowadays, I think he's just going to release singles here and there just based on his popularity. But no parody artist is really going to make it anymore the way that like him and like Alan Sherman and all those other people did. It's just not going to exist anymore because everyone's a star now. But that of course was a parody of Happy by Pharrell, which I didn't even know that song existed until after this one did. That's most of my pop culture. Like the pop culture that I know about only came from two sources. One, working in retail, right, all day for 60 hours a week and hearing the music, on the thing. It's that, and it was the Weird Al's parodies, because then I'd be like, oh, I kind of like this song. I wonder. Let me go back and research the real one, but there's a disappointment there, because I'll be honest, I'm not being biased. I think the Weird Al versions musically are better. They're more calculated. They sound better. They're mixed better. They're just better, And here's a fun fact. Did you know that every other song on any Weird Al album is an original? Yeah, that's true. But anyway, I'll stop talking about Weird Al because that's all I used to do in my old tapes. My friend Mike, I love you, brother. He never a huge Weird Al fan, and I used to make him these cassette tapes back in high school where all I would do is just slam him with all the Weird Al songs that existed. I mean, I must have made him like a 4 or 5 part series where I went into every Weird Al album and played everything. Man, God bless you, man, for sitting through those. And that goes for everybody. Everybody who got a cassette tape from me in high school. You said all very nice things, and I love that. But I really don't know what you thought. But my apologies if it was brutal to get through. I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad. That might be biased. But no, music has always been just such a huge part of my life. And it's weird when you meet other people who say the same and others who say the opposite. Because there's no real middle ground. You don't really have people who go, well, yeah, music's all right. You don't get that. You get people who are just, music is just a huge part of their heart and it's got them through life and gets them through. And then you got people who just don't care. And that's fine. It's just, music has always meant a great deal to me. Like I learned how to play the trumpet in 5th grade, and I played all the way up until I think 2000 maybe. It was, all through high school and then a couple of things afterwards. And, it's just, it wasn't that, I just loved being part of that. I loved being part of a band and being able to read music and all that stuff. And I got into singing for a while there. I was, even before I learned the trumpet, I was in chorus in elementary school. I was in the chorus my senior year in high school. And yes, for those of you who remember, I was in a band. And no, I'm not talking about Ross and the Freshmen. I'll never forget that. That was great. That was a cool moment in history where in 97 through, what year was that? 99. I think it was only like a 2-year stint. Mr. Gossowich, rest in peace, my friend. He picked a couple people in the chorus class to like get together this little, 4-person quartet, for some extra, use some time up during a chorus show. And I was one of the people he asked, and I thought it was great. And he got 4 other guys who all happened to be freshmen. I was a senior, and they were all freshmen, and they were all very talented. I loved all of them. And we got together and we learned Billy Joel's For the Longest Time. And that kind of became our claim to fame. If you can consider, a room of applause after a song fame, then that would be it. But we loved it so much that we kind of just wound up, going on with it. And even after I graduated high school, we still got together. We did rehearsals and we performed here and there, which was which was awesome. I did get fired. I think I was too controlling. I mean, they used a couple of other reasons, but I think they just didn't like the fact that I was calling all the shots because, I mean, they were like, 15 years old and I was like 18 and 19. So I obviously knew better than them. No, but I was like gathering rehearsals. I was selecting the songs we were singing and it was fun. But right before that happened, we had gotten together with Marty Rosen. And oh my God, I just cherish this guy. He was part of a bigger group that would sing oldies and stuff, and he actually approached us when we were in Canada. Our senior class trip for the band was in Quebec in Canada, and we were just like sitting around a table, and this guy in a long black trench coat approached us and said that we really had something special here, and that if we were interested, that he would he'd like to take us outside of school and teach us some songs and book us some gigs and maybe do some recording. And I just as an 18-year-old guy, I just thought that was just that's always been my dream. By the way, I've always wanted to be a rock star. That's just something I've always loved. I never really got quite close to that, but just the idea that this guy was offering to, give us, even if it was in front of a bunch of old people at like some, Alzheimer's club, whatever it is, it sounded great, so we did that. We went to his house and we learned these oldies and he set us up with a couple of gigs here and there and we got to perform at the oldies concert at Howell High School. I actually got to perform on the Howell High School stage once after graduation, and that was the February after we graduated. Ross and the Freshmen had one more appearance on that stage, and it was great. No, I loved it. I loved every second of it. But yeah, I got fired because I guess I was too controlling, and I was sending these email updates to everybody about what we were doing, and I guess I got a little bit critical in the emails about some of the attitudes of these 15-year-olds, which they're 15. I mean, of course they're going to have negative attitudes. But anyway, they came to the decision that I was no longer fit be in the group. They didn't sit me down and say, "Listen, Ross, you're too controlling." And it was they didn't even give me the chance. It was just you're out. And that's fine. Whatever. It was becoming kind of a chore to get them together anyway because I think they were 15. They wanted girlfriends and stuff like that. And and so I tried getting together with other people, and it just never really quite wound up working out the way that I wanted. But I always loved that time period. I got some pictures and stuff, which is the only reason why I remember it. But I'm telling you, the peak of that time was the Pops concert in 1998. It was raining outside, so we had to do it in the gym. And I had arranged a version of Weird Al Yankovic's "Since You've Been Gone." And that was such a mega hit because I also incorporated the Yoda chant. For anyone who's ever been to a Weird Al concert, he does this weird, bizarre chant right in the middle of the song Yoda that he's got. Yes, it's a Star Wars thing, and yes, it's a parody of Lola. But he does this weird little chant. If I'm explaining it to you, you're not going to get it. It's just you got to be there to see it. But I thought that this would be such a big hit. And I'm really surprised that the guys in this group, went along with it. Because, again, when you describe it to somebody, wait, so you just yell off syllables in the middle of a song? I don't get it. But, man, we were like the Beatles at that concert, man. I mean, there was like a 1 minute, 60-second long applause break where we just stood there and stared at the audience like psychos. I know there's a videotape of it, but I'm not interested in seeing it. Because I have a certain vision of it, and I don't want to see a tape of it and find out that it really did suck or that it didn't sound the way that I thought it sounded. I don't want to see the reality. I want my memory of that particular concert to stay in my head the way it is right now because it's just such one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life.